Okay, it's 3 o'clock here in Finland, so we are going to get started. So please know that the session is being recorded. We would warmly like to welcome you to the first of the 3 online webinars provided by W Power Project. The W Power Project name means empowering women entrepreneurs in sparsely populated northern communities, and it works with women entrepreneurs in sparsely populated areas across northern and Arctic communities. And we encourage women entrepreneurs to set up, develop, and grow their businesses. Please note that you may ask questions via chat. The trainer will reply to the questions in the end of her presentation. Also, we would like to point out that your microphones are muted due to the recording of the webinar, and participants will be informed via email when the recording is published. We will have a short short pause in the halfway of the webinar. But now we are ready and happy to welcome our trainer, Piritta Seppälä from Viestintä-Piritta, Piritta Communications. So go ahead, Piritta, the floor is yours.
Maybe also the microphone on. Good start for this webinar. So hi all, this is Piritta here, and I'm telling you a few things first, and then I'll start sharing my screen here. So in the end, I hold my video on so you can see who's talking to you today, and I tell a few things about myself, and then we enter into the issue today. But yes, my name is Piritta Seppälä, and I am talking to you from Hämeenlinna, Finland. It's in the southern part of Finland, and I'm happy to see that there are also people from other countries than Finland here today participating here today. So hello to all of you. I think there are people from UK, Ireland, Serbia, and other countries as well. So few things first in the beginning. So as you were told, you can all the time during my presentation, you can write questions to the chat. When I'm doing my presentation and when I'm talking, then I'm not looking at the chat, but I will pay a look at it in between my presentation and also in the end. But because we do the recording, that's why we hold the microphones off, so you don't have to worry about the microphones today. So feel free to ask anything about today's issues, and also remember that there will be 2 other webinars also during this fall time. You will get the links for these here to the chat later on today, and those webinars will be about more like social media strategy and also about web pages and blogging. So I am going through about these things a little bit today too, but those things we will pay attention more later in these 2 webinars. But today, let's begin the today's issue, and I will share you my screen, and after doing that, I put my video off. But first, before I share my screen, I tell you all that if you want to, you are free to tell other people in the webinar who you are, where you're from, and what's your company. So you can present yourself during my presentation, so you can present yourself to the others in the chat. So feel free to do that. So that's the thing. And also the other thing, we are going through some points about LinkedIn today. So if you have your own LinkedIn profile, you can use your LinkedIn profile by connecting the others. So if you present yourself in the chat today, then you can find the others by their names also from the LinkedIn. So please use that possibility today. Okay. Is there any questions for the beginning? Feel free to write it to the chat. And from here, let's begin. And as said, we are going to have a small break today, but we have 1.5 hours, so that won't be so long. And I have to apologize also for my cat, as I am doing these trainings from my home. I have 2 cats here. The other one is deaf, and she wants to meow a lot. And now she just started it as I started to speak to you. So sorry for that already now. Okay, I'll share my screen and put the presentation on so you will be able to see that. And Satu, you can tell me if the slides won't change. Now you should see my own slide here where I tell who I am.
They are changing, Piritta.
Good. And now you should see what we are going through today. Okay, so let's begin. Today's issues, let's put the first slide first. Today's issue is personal branding and networking online. And as we are talking about personal brand and networking, but the issue is to bring up your own company among yourself. So then, as we're talking about personal brand and networking online, all that will help your company and your knowledge to come out in a best way that possible. So try to think about the tips and tricks that I'm telling you today via your own company and via your own person. You will get tips both to your company marketing, but mostly via your own actions that you can do around the area where you work at. And as said about myself, so I am Piritta and my company is Viestintä-Piritta, which means Piritta Communications in English. I've had my company for 10 years now, and it's not usual that I use myself as an example on my trainings, but today I will do that for a couple of times because what comes to my company, as I work with communications and social media, my goal is to help organizations and companies to work, to communicate better and to use social media for their marketing and for their communications. So where I started 10 years ago, I could say that the part of my reputation as a professional was created by personal branding. But when I started to do that over 10 years ago, I wasn't exactly thinking that I was doing personal branding. So I will bring up some examples from my career as an entrepreneur in this area, but I will also use some other examples on my way here today. Nowadays, there are 9 other people on my company. There is me and a person who takes care of all the administration and managing the company. She's the only employee in my company. But then I have 8 other people who are subcontracting and doing the trainings for me and for Viestintä-Piritta. So that is the company that I have here at the back. But I think that is enough about me. But one thing I have to say, I know that there are people who are listening that are working also, who are working with traveling and hiking. I know there is, I think it was Heather, your name, you're from United Kingdom. And I was checking out your webpage because you you wrote it down to the survey that we had before the training. So thank you for that, and thank you all for answering the surveys. And I have to say that I've been hiking in Lake District myself years ago, but I love hiking and I love mountains I do hike on the mountains always when I can, but nowadays I have to do it only in Lapland, in Finland. But I'm very happy to have a chance to talk to you all about these issues. And it was very nice to see that there are some common issues as well what comes to life. But then let's get on with the issue. There are the issues today, and then we begin by thinking about your personal brand. So thank you all who answered the survey, because that helped me to understand your state what comes to personal branding and what comes to your companies. So I know, and let you others know as well, that there are people now who are maybe only starting their companies, and there are people who have been running their companies a long time. There are people who don't know that much about marketing, and then there are people who know a lot about marketing. So that means that there will be different kinds of point of views for all of you, taking what you can take from here with you. But think about your situation now, and the first thing I want you to think is this. Whatever your brand is now, think about it again, or think about it for the first time. What do you want to be known for? You can write this thing down. You can write it down and think about what is the goal about marketing, about being a personal brand, about being a brand yourself that could help your company to work better. So what is the issue you want to be known for? What are the things you want to be known for? This is the main question when it comes to personal branding. And this is kind of the line that you write down that helps you to create your personal plan of branding yourself. What do you want to be known for? Think about this, and then you might continue the plan of how to brand yourself, and at the same time how to brand your company. When you know the answer to this question, then you can follow to the second question. And I think this is one of the most important questions nowadays when doing marketing or branding or personal branding or whatsoever. This is the most important question there. You have to know who you want to talk to, and you have to know who are the people you want to reach. Because if you don't know the people with whom you want to work with, who are your customers, who are your potential customers, then you have no idea about to whom to talk, to where you could go and talk, what channels to pick, and what to say. So it's really, really important that you think, what are the issues you want to be known for? What is your specialty? And when you know that, then you follow to the second question. Who are the people you have to reach? Who are the people who you want to know who you are? This is really a really important thing for you to know. Then when you know your goal, who you want to be, what do you want to be known for? When you know answer to that, then you think about who are the people you want to who you want to reach. Then you can follow to the content. What do you want to tell them? What do you want to tell to those people who you want to reach about the issue you want to tell them? So these are the three questions you can use when you start building your own brand or building a plan to create your your brand. So these are the things I want you to think during the whole presentation that I will go through. About personal branding, though, as we are talking about it, so we can think about what the brand really means. There is a line from Jeff Bezos from Amazon, who has said that your brand is what other people say about you when you are not in the room. And that comes together with the question, what do you want to be known for? So when you know what you want to be known for, then you should start thinking, what do other people say about you when you're not present? So if those things go together, then you have succeeded to create a personal brand that goes with the idea what people think about you. The same idea goes with your company. You might have some sort of an idea of what your company is and what it does and what are your values in your company, but the main thing is that the brand comes all together from the things that other people are saying about your company and what is their idea about your company. So think about these things. From here, we move on closer to the issues about the branding yourself and your company. And when I know that there are people amongst you who have a company where you work alone, and like for me, in the beginning of my company, I was the company. There was no one else. It was just me. So I know where you stand at. So then it's really easy to bring yourself and to make it part of your company. It might be that you might do some handicrafts, or it might be that you are doing some traveling things with people, or it might be anything in between that. But the most important thing is that you find yourself part of your company, and you put those two things together and link them together to make people find your company via you. So there are chances that you could do. First thing in today's world is visibility that you should also pay attention to. I'd say that those of you who are not telling online that you are there, those of you are invisible to all the others. So all those people who are sharing information about themselves and about their companies, they are visible. And I will bring examples and I will bring tips to you how to be visible. So you can pick those ideas that suit you best. But it is very important to find the things that you want to say and the channels you want to use and the channels where you can find your customers, for example, and use those channels in a way that suit to you and suit yourself best, and then bring out the things that you know. When you take a position online, no one else can take it, because there are always competitors. That is a thing that is a fact. There are competitors, but you should bring yourself out and tell about your specialties, about your knowledge, about your things that you know about, and then bring out more visibility about yourself, and also define what is your niche in the area where you work at. Here I use an example from myself. I work with communications and I work with social media. Those are areas that are there are many competitors in Finland, and there are many competitors globally in this area. But in Finland, I have started to work with non-profit organizations, and that has been the niche for me. So I have found or actually not found, but I have been working before my company with non-profit organizations. So that was really like a normal way to continue my job as an entrepreneur. So that has been the niche where I've been working, and I've been bringing out the information about social media for non-profit organizations. So that has been helping to build my reputation as a professional in that area. So you can start thinking that what is your special thing that divides you from the competitors, and how you say about it, how you talk about it, and how you bring it out. I also would like to remind you that no matter where you work at, no matter where your company is, no matter if you are living far up north or if you're living in some downtown city, so it doesn't matter. For today, we all are in the same page. We are all remote today, so I highly recommend you to use this opportunity to be on the same page with all the others in this world, because we are not we are all online today, as I'm training you online today here too. So as we are online, it is the same possibilities for all of you to bring out your voice. So tell about yourself online, bring out your niche and your specialty in a way that suits you best. But about the personal brand and about the reputation, those two things go together. Also the brand of your company. So the thing that, what is the reputation and that you have, what is the reputation that your company has, and also what is the brand altogether there. So it's built up of all about these 5 things and among the others. For example, if you want to brand yourself, if you want to brand your company, then you have to talk about the real things. The company, I mean, the brand has to, the reputation has to be based on facts. But the facts are also about the issue that how people talk about you. So the customers who have experience from you, if you can use the customer testimonials as references for your work, then it brings out the fact how your customers feel about your work and the things that you've been doing with them. So let the customers tell you how they feel about you and bring those testimonials out, for example, on your web pages. So that is one thing that builds up your reputation. Also the values are more and more important nowadays in the world. What are your values? What are your company's values, and how you tell those values to the people? Sometimes people, when they compare different companies one-on-one, they might choose a company that has that's values are more like the customer's values are. So think about your values and think about how your values and your company values are working together, because these are very important things also nowadays to tell out. Also, you might have to consider about online reviews. Customer testimonials might come in a way that you ask customers to tell what they think about you, and you write down the testimonial to put it to your web page according how your customers have said that. But online reviews, those are nowadays one way for customers to tell how they have felt about your services or products. And those you might find from Google, or you might find those, for example, from Facebook pages. If your company has a Facebook page, people might write down reviews about your products and services there on your Facebook page. So that is also one thing that you should consider about, like how you can bring up both good and how you can react on those maybe not that good reviews. One thing that we check more also is the Google search results. So let's think about your brand and your company brand and also the company overall. So think about what people Google, how you are found in Google and search engines. So what are the search results when someone is looking for the products or the services that you are producing with your company? And overall, the reputation comes about what people overall are talking about you. What comes to personal branding, though, the very important thing is that you should be who you are. You should be yourself and ask yourself about the things that are boosting the facts that where you are good at. So bring up the facts about the things where you are really good. I mean, what are the things that divide you, for example, from your competitors? What are the things that you really know well, and start bringing those things up? So let's go back to the first question I asked you. What do you want to be known for? So now we are in a place where you should think that, okay, if I want to be known for this and that, then you should think about how I can talk about these things to the people. So boost up the best of you, boost up the best things about your company, and bring up those things that divide you from the others. But what comes to personal branding, do it as yourself. Even if you are communicating online via, for example, your Facebook page, which is your company, which goes on your company's name, you can bring yourself behind the curtain. You can be you, even though you are communicating with the name of your company. It is always good to bring out you. It is much more effective because people are interested of people, not that much of companies. But a person can make people more interested also about the companies. One thing you should consider next about the branding and personal branding is that what do those people you want to reach, what do they want to hear from you? So if you started by thinking, what do you want to be known for, and what comes with your, it goes together with your company. What are the issues you want to be known for? Who do you want to reach? Who do you have to reach to make that goal happen? So then you come to the situation where you should start thinking, what do those people need to hear from me? So if you have found your niche, like for myself, it was and it still is, the non-profit organizations. So then you should start thinking, what do they need from me? What can I give to them? What things can I give them, and that I can be useful for them, and how I can make them want services or want to buy the products just from exactly from me. So tell people the things you think they need to know, that you think that they need answers to. So you can also start building your communication plan by answering the questions before people even ask them. From the people, when you start thinking about your customers, when you start thinking about the people with whom you want to work with, I mean, who are the potential customers, then you should start thinking about the people as they think. So if in this picture, I mean, in this slide, you started to think that, okay, what are the things they need from me? What are the questions they might have according to, I mean, what comes to my company or my products or my services or my knowledge? What are the things people might need from me? What can I give them? Then continue by thinking, how do they Google those things that I can give them, and what are those questions they have? How do they Google those things? I'm sorry for having this this slide in Finnish. It is only because I was doing Google search about the issue that I do the training of. What it says there in Finnish, it says, I mean, in Finnish, it is communication training for non-profit organizations. So as that is one of my issues, so I was doing the Google search and trying to see if my web pages are coming up in the results. So this thing, this idea in this slide and also this slide, these go together. When you first find those things that you think that people need from you, and you find the questions that you think that you can answer to your customers, I mean, those things that they need from you and you can give them, and then you think about the questions, what they have about your services and products, where you can help them with. Then you do the Google search and try to find out whether your web pages are coming out when Googling those things. SEO, written down there with red, it means search engine optimization. And that is the thing that you should at least do, that when you have put up your web page and when you have thought about your customers and about the things that you have in your company and you have yourself, then you start to divide those, I mean, not to divide, but to put those things together, like what are the questions of the people, and you keep answering those questions in your web pages. So put the searches together with your web page content, and then you can bring yourself up when people are searching someone like you. And here, when talking about the web pages, I understood from the survey that you answered to, that not all of you are having web page yet. When you start putting your company going, I highly recommend you to put up a web page, even a simple one, because the web pages are the #1 communication platform nowadays. You can control the web page content yourself. And also when you have a web page that has the most important thing, at least, about your products and services and the contact information, then you start to be found on Google and other search engines. So that is very important to do if you want to be found. And to be found, you have to think like your customers does. But then let's go back to yourself. Here I was I was talking about your company, how your company web page comes up. But then the other thing that you could do, and you should do every now and then, is to Google yourself. If we are talking about, as we are talking about personal branding here, even though it goes together with your company marketing, you might be the product yourself, or you might be big part of your company, even if you, I mean, if you are working there alone, then you are your company. So what are the Google results when you Google yourself, and what do you find from there? I was doing a search yesterday with my name, and I found out that there is one of my competitors who is also advertising under my name. When someone is searching my name from Google, there comes a competitors advertise on top of this search page. So this is also one important thing that you could think about. Know your competitors, know who are the worst competitors to you, and think how you can divide yourself from there. And sometimes you can even do that. You can even put your advertise under a competitor's name, but this is the first time that anyone has ever put an advert on under my name. But this is also, I let it be here to show you that this is also one way to do the marketing. But from there, the most important thing here is that when you Google your name, what do you find? And let's go back to the beginning. What do you want to be known for? Is this Google result the same as you want to be known for? As professionally, for me, it is. And also the other, this slide So what are the things your customers are searching and asking about, the things that you can provide them? Do these things go together with search engines? So think about that, and also about your name with the Google results. Is the result what you want it to be? If not, then you should start boosting up yourself and your company, so you could be found in those things that is important to be found. A few slides before I check if there are questions, and then we could have also that small break. But before that, let's take a few examples more. One important thing about the branding, either your company or yourself, it's always that you should have a goal where you want to go. And nowadays, it's very important that you, when you start searching, because the branding, okay, let's go, let's start this again. When you when you decide that you have to brand, that you want to brand yourself, you want to reach people. That is the thing. When you want to do the branding, then the one thing is that you need and you want to reach people. You want to reach certain people among your branding. So when you do that, you have to think that when you reach those people, how you connect them with you. I mean, how you make them to be in touch with you also later. If someone sees your Facebook post one time, that someone might remember you after that. But if you can connect with that person somehow, so then you can reach him or her later too. So there is an example from my webpage, which has the newsletter that you can get the newsletter from our website, and you can also send the contact. You can ask us, contact us with these two forms. So this gives us the possibility to be in touch with the people in easy way. So think about the ways that you can be in touch with those people you reach when you do this branding. So that is very important thing to do. So then you don't lose those people. Also, one very important thing about the branding and the personal branding and the marketing overall is that it's all about the relationships. It's the relationships that matter. And if you want to do the personal branding, it goes the best that by connecting people and by letting people to contact you, and by being in touch with those people also later. So if you start creating relationships, you should also take care of those relationships. So think about it, that what are the ways that you nowadays be in touch with your customers and stakeholders and all the other people with whom you are working with, and then after that start thinking that could you do something new? Would there be some other ways to be in touch with those people so you can keep up the relationships? Like what comes to traveling, for example, which I do normally a lot. One example comes actually from Sydney, for example. I was there doing climbing on a Sydney. There is one bridge on Sydney, and you can climb on top of that bridge. When I was doing that bridge climb Sydney thing, the company there, they said that, hey, now you are here. It might be that you are not coming as you are a tourist from Finland. You might not be coming here like next month or maybe ever, but if you want to get some news from us, tick here and you will get the newsletters from us later on. So then you can maybe use these newsletters when you're coming back here, if you're coming. So give people chance to join the forces with you, like to get the newsletters, or tell them to follow your social media pages, but also think about how you can be in touch with them so that they are not only the followers, but how you can create the networking thing that goes both ways, that it's not only one-way communication. And we are coming to that at the other part of this training. But remember, if you start creating relationships, think about how you can keep them going. What are the ways that you can be in touch with your customers so that they feel that you remember them? So here are a few things that I want to bring up from this first half of this training about the brand, the personal brand, the company brand, and your reputation altogether. These 5 things are the things that you should remember at least when you start building or creating a new or making better branding process online. The thing that is very important is that you remember that it's all about you and the true knowledge and specialty that you have. You have to have a reference and for the things you say. So talk about the facts, bring out the facts that come from knowledge and specialty, and then you can be sure that people get what they are waiting to get when they meet you or your products or services. At least you're much closer to that. So be true you. Also, the other thing that matters, what builds your brand, is the customer experiences. So if you can help customers feel good, and if you can help customers get what they have ordered or bought from you, then you can be more sure that they like what they have got. And that goes together with the number 1, be true you. Even if you are talking with the voice with your company or as a voice of you. But if you are the company, then those both things go together. The number 3 thing where we go more clearly after the small break is the number 3, the visibility and activity on different channels. Nothing comes for free. That is a fact that you cannot just take away. That's the thing. Nothing comes for free. If you want to reach something, you have to work for it. Even if your work is not on the computer, it might be out there on the nature. But anyway, if you want to customers know that you are out there in the nature to help them and to go traveling with them and hiking with them, then you have to do the work on the computer to bring out yourself online so that the people can find you. But you make the decision yourself, where goes the line. And actually, in one of your questions, answers on this survey today, that before the training, there was a point about this, what I just said, that you are not working on computers. So if you are out there, outdoors in the nature, and your work is there, how is it possible that you really can make the marketing and personal branding and online networking and all the other things that it needs to be done so that you can get the customers? Nowadays it's inevitable, but there is I will give you one example about this. This goes with for the time that you have to use. So a few years ago, I was traveling around the world, and I was in Mauritius, in Indian Ocean, the very small island down there. So I was there, and I was doing some dolphin swimming. I was swimming with the dolphins, and the company that I found, who was providing this dolphin swim thing, was a one-man company, a Mauritian man who had a company who was providing all the traveling things for the tourists to do on the island. And actually, I didn't find the company. The company found me, and the company found me via Twitter. So that man, I interviewed him later. That when I met him, I asked him how can he do all those things as he doesn't have time because he's out there all the time with the customers. So he answered me and he said that okay, he might be out there with the customers, but for example, when I was swimming with the dolphins, he had few hours to wait for me, and he had his phone and internet, and he was searching through Instagram and he was searching through the Twitter. At that time, he was using only Twitter, and as he was using the Twitter, he searched hashtag Mauritius, and when he was finding those results, he also found my tweet where I was telling that, oh yeah, now I'm starting and beginning my round the world trip, and the first destination is Mauritius. So he wrote me the tweet and said that, hi, welcome to this wonderful country. Can I help you with something? We have this, and dolphin swim, which I had been thinking of, but not yet booked anything. And then after that, I answered him and said, yes, please tell me more. And there I was swimming with dolphins. And when I was swimming with dolphins, he was doing the Twitter search and finding other possible customers during the time when he hadn't anything else to do. So find the time for yourself to do the most important things. Don't try to do everything, but do the most important things during those times when you have few minutes or 30 minutes or maybe an hour. Okay, from this story, from Mauritius and dolphin swim, we go back to the number 4. The things people say about you is coming from everything. It's like coming from your actions online, the things you have said online, you have written online. It comes from the networking. It comes from the picture you give to the people when they meet you. It comes from the products and services that you give them. And it comes the experiences and also the customer reviews and online reviews and testimonials. So it's built up from many things, but you can use the power of online networking and online communication to bring out the best things about you. And to remember that even though we are talking about the multiple choices of online communication, online marketing, and online branding, you can always decide what you tell about yourself to other people. And this is the last slide I'll show you before I check the questions, because here I have an example about my own profiles in LinkedIn, Facebook, and on Twitter. So remember that you can decide yourself who you are in different channels. You don't have to share all of your life in those channels, but you can tell on these channels and in these profiles the things you want to say. For example, for myself on Facebook, I am more like my kind of personal me, even though we are always the one person. We are always the person who is the entrepreneur. We are always the person who climbs the mountains. We are always the persons who have cats. So I am the person of all these things, but I bring some parts more out on different channels. So the Facebook is the champagne class and mountain climbing, and my personal life, going outdoors, walking on the woods, picking up mushrooms and so on, cooking food, baking bread, such things. But on LinkedIn, I am the professional. Then what comes to Twitter? On Twitter, I am more like professional, but sometimes a little bit of cats and sometimes a little bit of mountains. But most of all, I am there, the professional. So decide who you are in different channels and tell it to the people in these channels so they know who you are there. And remember, you don't have to tell everything about yourself. It's enough that you tell the things you decide and the things you want to be known for. So from here we go to back to here. I stop the sharing here and let's check if we have any questions here. So there are no questions here, but if someone wants to ask something now, please feel free. You can write them down. We are going to have a 5-minute break here. So if you have any questions, you can write them down during the break and I'll answer them after the break. And let's go to continue to the tips with, just a second, I share my screen. Let's continue here to my presentation and more tips about the personal branding and networking. So networking is one key that brings people closer to you and your products. So now we start going through these things, and as in this slide we see, even though if your company is working business to business, it is always human to human that you should connect and contact people. So it's human to human, which you should remember, that you talk always to the people. No matter who is on the other side, it's always the person who makes the decisions whether or not they are going to buy the things from you. So it's always about the people. So talk to the people, even if you're talking with the voice of your company. Talk to the people. Also, the channels which I have mentioned a couple of times here today, like the web pages and so on, it's important to choose the channels that people are that those people are using that you want to reach. It comes with the personal brand. Try to use those channels where you think your people are, and a few channels to use. To pick up. One thing, as I said, is the web page. It's very important that you and your company has a web page what tells to the people what your services and products are, where you are located at if you are location-based company, and also the contact information. Even the tiniest things about your company is important to tell, but it's like if you do not have the web page, then you do not exist nowadays. So remember to put effort on your web page and even open a simple page that tells the most important information. What is your company? Who are you with your company? What are your products and services, and how people can contact you? If you decide to use, for example, newsletters via email, then let people to get those emails. So there is a form for that, as I had the example before. If you have a company that is based, for example, on some professionality that you can bring out by writing blog posts, then put a blog on your website. When you have a blog on your website, you can write things down to your blog, and when you share those blog posts to, for example, to social media, and people are entering to your web page, and they might start searching other things from your page as well. Even if they come first, they come to read the blog post. So remember that the web page and probably the blog, or for example an online shop, is very important nowadays to have. So think about the things that you work with. What are the areas, what are the things, the issues, what are your products and services, what divides you from the others, from the competitors, and what can you bring out with pictures, with text, with videos on your website. Do you have like products that you are selling? For example, down there's a Northern Carolina company called Crazy Cranny that is making, for example, earrings. So there it's very important to have an online shop on the web page. So create that if you are selling things like for example, handicrafts or other things. Use blog if the blog is useful for you, and if it's easy to write blog posts. So only choose those things that are useful for you and that you can put the effort on. That is very important. In this picture, I have picked up a few social media channels, and those social media channels, as you see, there are loads of them. There are loads and loads and loads of social media channels. And if we as entrepreneurs start thinking that we should be on all those channels, then all of our time would go to provide content to these channels and being active on these channels. So it is better to choose the channels that are for you, they feel good. I mean, that you feel easy to use those channels, even though the technology and the ways to use might be difficult sometimes. That is a fact that is there. But even though the first thing you can think about choosing the channels is that, do you feel okay to use them, or is it really difficult, or do you feel like, no, I don't want to do this? And then if you don't want to do it, then you have to choose some other channel. Then it's easier to take a channel that is easier for you to use. But then the next question, what comes with the channels and choosing the right channels for you, is that you try to pick those channels where your customers are. When you thought about the thing, what do you want to be known for? And then you thought about the thing that, who are the people you want to reach? Then you come to the question, where do those people communicate? What channels those people use? As said, the web pages, that's inevitable for every company, even if it is only one page that tells the most necessary things. But you have to be found from the Google search. When people start, if they hear from you, they want to find you by searching your company or with your name. And then it is good if they find your company web page. But what comes to social media, choose channels that you can use, that feel good for you, and especially the channels that your customers and potential customers and those people you want to reach use. Choose the right channels. Do not try to be everywhere. Be in the places where your customers and the people you want to reach, where they are. So that is the key thing. And to this thing, we go in a social media webinar that is on a way this fall. So we are going more into these social media channels, but here's the beginning to the idea. But the connecting with people, again, let's go back to your personal effort on marketing your company and branding yourself as a part of your company. So one way is the connecting with people. Well, I sent you to the chat just before we continued. So I put the chat my LinkedIn link. So if you want to, you can find that link and send me the invitation to network with me. You can also do that to the other people. If you want to connect the other people who are joining this webinar, the participants, just send your own link and they can connect you. But one thing like connecting and networking and the power of networking, it's really the thing that when you network with people, for example, on LinkedIn or on Twitter or on Facebook or on other channels, that way you bring yourself out to the minds of those people. So networking is a key to many things nowadays, but you should do it like having a goal in your mind. Connect with the people who are important to you. Connect with the potential customers. That is also a chance. And okay, that LinkedIn is one channel, but we are bringing up it, for example, because of this group. I'll show you from here to here. Satu, can you confirm that you are seeing now
Yes, I'm seeing your profile.
Good. So I'm searching here for the project group here. So as you are part of the Women Power this project, so you are able to join this group that I show here. So feel free to find this group by the name W Power Project and join the group. There are also already 81 members here, and as you come over here, you can tell who you are and present yourself, and then start conversations with others, ask questions about entrepreneurship on your area, and so on and so on. This is one way of doing the networking online. There are also other groups. If you are on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, you can do the searches with different keywords and try to see what kind of groups on your area, on your issues, on your company, products and services, what kind of groups do you find? Join those groups, because that is one thing to bring yourself out to the people who are like-minded as you. So if you're not yet in this group, feel free to join and tell others who you are and what you do and from where you come from. Now I go back to my presentation and continue with these tips. Telling the people in different groups who you are is the number one step to bring yourself out. Those people who are more known than the others, they are the persons who have been active and telling who they are, what they do, and they have been also probably active in connecting with other people. It is important, if you wish to be known for some certain groups of people or in the social media groups, it's important to tell that you are there. That is one thing you can do. Also, if you want to create conversation, you can do that. If you are in the groups or if you are in certain social media channels, by creating a conversation with people, you can bring yourself out with more people than who already knew you. There is an example about probably my most successful LinkedIn post that I have ever made. This is a LinkedIn blog post. So I have written a blog post on my LinkedIn profile, and that's a story about my own burnout that I had 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, I hit the wall and was really tired and had to stop working for a while. And then I decided that at one point when I'm ready, I will tell my story. But it took 4 years for me to tell that. And there's also one example. This is an example about the thing that even if you're an entrepreneur, you can bring out your personal issues as well. You can open yourself up if you think that it's okay to do. But this thing I didn't do this for my company. I did it for those people who I hope that this text and story might be useful for, because I know that many people are even close to the burnout. So by telling my story, it might help others. But this story turned out to be, at least it turned out to be most commented story ever on my LinkedIn history, which is like 10 years. So if you don't have to find this kind of stories to tell about from your life, but you can find some other stories where you can show who you are, but remembering that it is your decision to decide what to tell. But if you open up a question, if you open up a conversation, then it's important that you talk with the people. So that 117 comments, it's not only the comments that other people have made, but there are also my comments that when I have replied to the other people who have been commenting my text. And that is one thing that is very important in networking and in social media conversation and communication, and also about the personal brand. If you want to be connecting and networking the others, make sure that you are ready to talk with other people too, with the people you reach, especially if they are the real people, those people that you want to reach. But when it comes to LinkedIn, I also tip you this. If you use LinkedIn for personal branding or networking with the others, you can check out your own social selling index. This is a free tool on LinkedIn. I'll show you that, which you can find. You can find it easily by Googling social selling index. And if you Google that, you will get the LinkedIn Business Site Social Selling Index, SSI. And from there, you can click, when it opens up, you can click Get Your Score Free. So if you are using LinkedIn especially for personal branding issues, then start seeing this social selling number, because then it might tell you that where you stand at. It's about your activity and about how you use the channel. It's like the easy number for you to see where you are going, and also how you rank with your own industry and your own network in your activity. But the very important thing here too is that you should be active. It's really important to be active. Then about the way to network and the way to produce content that brings up you and the knowledge that you have is, for example, asking questions from the people. The left picture in here is a poll. You can create, for example, polls. And if you create a poll, then you can ask questions from your network and give them ready answers so that they can pick, or they can comment their own answers to the question that you have. Remember also that, for example, in Instagram stories or Snapchat stories, you can create different kinds of ways to ask the stories. Create the stories where you ask people their opinions. So if you do that, remember to bring out also the results. So if you ask people, tell them the results. If they don't see it, tell it to them. It's always good that you show that you have reacted to the answers that people have given to you. So it goes two ways. The networking and communicating goes two ways. Then about the networking and bringing out yourself and your knowledge, and also to see what are the things that other people are talking about your issue and your area and your products and services, and not but overall about the industry. Start searching with different hashtags about the things what other people are saying about the industry, your industry. Here's an example: the social media hashtag search from Twitter and social media hashtag search from LinkedIn. So for me, for example, when I go through these hashtags, I can find some other people posting good information that could be useful for me, but also I have a chance to go and like the posts that the other people have been doing. And that is the one thing that comes out. Often that people are often asking from me that how can I get the followers? That okay, I put up the Instagram page and the profile, but how do I get followers? Well, the followers, you can get them by going to those people that you think that are your potential customers or the potential people with whom you want to work with. And the most easiest way to go to those people is in a form of heart. So in social media, you can go and show to the people that you are there by searching, first searching via hashtags to different things and that goes to your knowledge and your specialties and your products and your services. Find out with hashtags what people are already talking about the issues. You can do that on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram. Then go and like those posts the other people have been doing. By liking others, you show them that you are there. That is a very easy way to show people that you are present. But then you can do more. You can also start commenting other people's posts that are relevant to your job and your company. So if you go out there and start talking to the people, then you bring out yourself as a person who knows about those things and as a person who has something to say about those things. And you can bring up yourself also as a person who is a possible company owner for that person to buy something, some services or products from you. So go to the people, search them via hashtags, for example, like their posts, show them that you are there and start talking with the people. You can talk openly or you can talk by sending, for example, private messages. That is also one thing you can do. But what comes to hashtags, when starting your own business nowadays, your business should also have your own hashtag. For example, we at Viestintä-Piritta, we have a hashtag Viestintä-Piritta. So if you now want to go and post something on social media, then I can find your post if it's public. I can find it by searching our hashtag and react on your post. So that is the way we can activate the people that we have already reached. We can activate them to talk about us by using our hashtag, and we know when they talk about us by searching these hashtags. That is one thing you could do. So find your company's hashtag and start using it yourself, and also make people talk about you via your hashtag. You tell them that this is our hashtag and tell them to use it. Then also one thing about both goes with personal branding, bringing out your knowledge, your specialty, your company services, your company products. So is to join those social media groups that are already there. I already showed you the LinkedIn group for this project, but also said that please try to do searches on your area, on your services, on your industry, that what kind of social media groups is there? Is there like a hiking groups? Is there handicraft groups? Is there communication groups? Whatever your industry is, there are groups on social media for you. Join those groups and follow the conversation on those groups. This picture is from Facebook page where you can, that's one Facebook group where I'm part of. It's for women in Finland who are working with communication. And I have followed the group. I have followed the group and get the notifications of when someone posts on the group something, so I get the notification to my profile. And always when I have time, I go to that group among other different kinds of groups that are related to my industry. So I go to those groups and I check what kind of conversations there are. And for example, actually 2 days ago, then I will translate what it says here. So I found a question where a person was asking help from the colleagues. She was asking how to get the message best for the non-profit organizations. So that was my niche, as I told you before. So I had the answer for them. So I mean, I had the answer, so I was able. So I wanted to give it to them. So that took from me something like 2 minutes from my day, and I went and asked from the person, like, what do you want to tell to the nonprofit organizations? She replied, and I gave her a few tips about what to do and where to communicate. So this is one way that you could do. If you join the groups that are related to your industry and your products and services, do not go there and sell your products, but do go there and help people. Because there are questions from the people that need your services. So by going to the areas where they ask those questions, go and answer them. But remember that when being part of different social media groups, there are usually there are rules. So follow the rules and play by the rules. That is very important. But what comes to these social media groups that I said, I have even got new customers by helping people by answering their questions, which make them know about me and our services. And as they get help from a person who knows the issue that they are working with or needing help with, it's easier for them to turn to our site when they need the help more. So search your groups, be present, help people, do not sell, but do help. Also, try to find partners with whom to work if it's like a thing that could help your company. Doing things together, even remotely, it helps. The right-sided picture is from Community Managers Appreciation Day. It's a seminar day that we organize also in Finland. It's an international day for community managers. And I have been with my company part of that seminar day many years now by working together with the one who is organizing it. And on the left side, there are different organizations and companies with whom we are working as Viestintä-Piritta to make our things work. I mean, to provide more help to our customers in the issues that we are not providing this time now. Then one thing which goes very much about the personal branding issue, but also linking with your own company. There was already the Crazy Granny designs as an example before. So the Northern Karelian, the Finnish from small Finnish town, a person who is making earrings and jewelry and handicrafts. So Crazy Granny designs. The person who is behind the company is there on a picture, and she has I was talking to her some time ago about how she's doing the branding of the company, and she said that for her it is very easy and very relevant that she's one of the most seenable faces of her company. She is the company though, but she wants to give her face, for example, on Instagram posts to be shown that there is a person behind the company, and look, here I am, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and she's telling about what she's doing and how she's building up the jewelry and the earrings and so on. So that is the thing, to give your own brand to your company, but choosing what you say and saying those things that are easy to say and saying the things that are meaningful for a company and for your brand to say. Also, one thing that you can think of by putting effort on putting effort on personal branding among the brand of branding your company is the fact that there is a chance that media could find you when you start talking about the things. Susanna Koivisto is a student, communication and journalism student in Tampere area, and she has been working also with Viestintä-Piritta for a couple of years. So she told me that as she has been putting effort on the personal branding for a couple of years, it helped her to get one very important thing for her. By telling the things on social media, she had a chance to bring out the important thing that she's talking about in this post, that the media, the biggest media, three biggest media companies picked up the news, which was also coming from her posts on social media. But it needed the fact that she had been working on personal branding and she had been present on different social media channels. So it is possible for you to reach the media when you are present on different social media channels and when you have your goal clear in your mind. The first question we thought here today, that what do you want to be known for? When everything that you do goes together with that answer, then you can create an image of you and yourself as a brand and also as a company that also media and potential customers know, also the customers and also the other companies, for example, with whom you want to work with. So by going towards that goal, you have a chance to create the brand that many different target groups find. But one way, after talking about social media and online networking, one important thing is also network on the other way as well. If there are associations around your industry, around the things that you work with, join them. If they don't cost millions to be member of different associations, join them. Tell them that what you do and take part on the events they organize. Be in networks like this We Power project. Take part on the events and communicate on the events. Talk with the people. When we are able to meet again, go to different networking lunches or whatever is on your industry. Organize these yourself and ask other people to join you. Be active. So tell in different areas and different places that you are there. Let the people know you and remember where you are heading to. What is your goal? And when you know the goal, when you know the people you want to reach to, and then you know what kind of content you should create. We go to this issue, as I said, there is the social media training and the webinar coming also this fall. So there we go more to social media content and different channels and the things what you can do on those channels and how to create a social media strategy. But here, remember that there are multiple and millions of chances to tell about yourself, about your company, about your services, about your products in different channels. But use them if your customers and target groups are using them, and use your imagination with all the content that you make. So there are the trainings, and after this I will tell you one last case, and then we'll check that if there are questions. So this might be a few minutes over the 4:30, but the last case that I will tell you is the same Susanna that I had there earlier as the media example. She is a young new entrepreneur from Finland who is providing blog posts and blog texts to different companies. She put up this small company as a freelance writer last spring when Corona hit the world. And she said that she had to find out something to do because she didn't have the summer job for this summer, but she wanted to do something. So she created it for all this from kind of from the scratch, from nothing. She put up a web page, she put up the basic product, and she started to network and bring out her knowledge on social media. So she had a web page which includes the information of her, and also the blog where she writes blog posts that she can show that she is able to write the blog posts. Also, she put up an Instagram page for this company issue and niche, and then she started to network on LinkedIn. She started to post LinkedIn posts. She started to post Instagram posts about the things where she answered the questions the potential customers could have, like tips to do social media marketing or tips to write a blog post. So only in few weeks and a month, she reached a lot of people, but it took time. She said that in the beginning, she was using a couple of hours for communicating and networking in LinkedIn and also in Instagram, and also writing those blog posts that she had something to share. But she said that the most important thing to get the present, to get to make the people know that she's there was networking with them. She commented people's posts on LinkedIn, and when person started to follow her page and profile in Instagram, she sent a message to them and said, "Thank you for following. I am very happy for this." And she said that pretty often that also created some kind of conversation, and she also started to get some customers. But the thing that it needed was to be active. So I'll end this webinar about this big thing to these three things. Be active on reaching out the goal you want to reach out. Be yourself. Tell about the things that are important to you and be the best of you. So that is the most important thing. If you want to reach something, you really have to do and work for that. So these are my last advice to you. And now I close the sharing and go to our collaboration view. So now there are a few minutes left. We are a few minutes over the half, but if you want to ask something, it is still possible. And I'm very happy to see that there you have been sharing your LinkedIn profiles. So please connect with each other. That is a very good thing to do. But if you have any questions, so now you can ask. Okay, it seems to be that no questions here today. So I hope that you are joining us to the next webinars which are coming, and you got the link there earlier. So the issues are web pages and blog writing, and also social media strategy and social media content comes in there. So thank you for all joining. Thank you all for being part of listening to the recording, and I hope you got information that was useful for you. And please let's connect on social media and let's network and bring the best out of all of us. So very good. Thank you so much.
Yes, Piritta, thank you so much for your training today. We will definitely continue on the 21st of October with the topic how to blog and write online. And we would also like to thank everybody for your participation today. We will send you the recording link later on. Thank you and have a nice day, everybody. Bye-bye.